Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. 6 months ago, if someone had asked me what Toastmasters was, I would have confidently said that it's a place where people learn to talk by talking. But that's kind of like saying that people go to the Mayo Clinic to get Band-Aids. Technically, it's true, but it's kind of missing the overall point. So about a month ago, I did have the opportunity to attend the District Toastmasters Convention in Bismarck, North Dakota. While I was there, I competed in the International Speech Contest. For those unfamiliar, the International Speech Contest is the path to the World Championship of Public Speaking. I advanced through the club, area, and the division competing at the district level. So that's 4 of the 6 levels on the path to the championship. So if you think the World Championship of Public Speaking and Bismarck, North Dakota are not really 2 phrases that naturally belong together. But let me tell you that it absolutely delivered. The speakers there were exceptional, and Canada was actually very well represented. These are new for me, and I'm having trouble actually giving a speech with them on. So I also got to meet the most recent past international president, and I was not there for the trophy. I was there for the repetition under pressure. You see, I know something about myself. Pressure is really my greatest teacher. It's how I ran my first 5K. I signed up and figured, now I gotta figure out how to run. It's how I advanced my career. So I sign up for things and then I depend on my future self to figure it out. And fortunately, future Heather usually figures it out along the way. And so every round of this contest taught me something different. The first round, I was really focused on the content. The second round, I was focusing on the memorization. The third time, the delivery. But eventually, something shifted inside of me. It started to become connecting with the audience. So same speech, different lessons every time. But one of my greatest lessons happened at the area speech. You see, I was competing in both tall tales as well as international. In tall tales, I went over time and I was disqualified. Now here's the interesting part. I was completely okay with it. I knew the rules. I was actually kind of relieved. In my life, I was actively trying to make mistakes and then teach myself how to be okay with it. So I thought, perfect, now I've made a public mistake. I'm okay. Unfortunately, my own nervous system was not quite on board with this new line of thinking. And so my version 3.0, where my nervous system allows me to make a mistake, just did not show up. So a few minutes after I was disqualified, I had to stand up and give my international speech. Immediately, my legs started shaking. My voice started shaking. A speech that I know, people in a room that I feel comfortable with. I thought to myself, as I was reacting, that I felt like I had just been arrested and I was being drawn and quartered in the Salem witch trials. It was that bad inside my own body. And I was thinking, what is wrong with you? We just told ourselves we're okay. You see, cognitively, I was fine. I wasn't embarrassed. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. But all of us have this historic, ancient brain, and that nervous system becomes conditioned. And mine was going, Mayday, Mayday, the ship is sinking. But this is exactly why I signed up. So what I did well is that I delivered the speech anyway. And I honored the nervous system that I had in the moment, not the one that I wish that I had. And afterwards, I got really curious. So I called a renowned speaking coach, and I asked her, why is this happening, and how the heck do I fix it? She said something I will never forget. She said, you do not fix it in the moment. You have to create safety before you get up to speak. That really landed with me. Because public speaking is not just about the words. It's about us being visible. It's about us being vulnerable, right? We stand here in a front of a room of people, and basically we're saying, here I am, let the judgment commence. And see, our nervous systems then say, that's great, this is your idea. I'm gonna be like a teenager at a Taylor Swift show, and I am just gonna shake, 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 shake. So you might experience this as well. You may have felt this, so you are not alone. But the contest did not just give me speaking practice. It gave me safety practice. Every speech was an opportunity to teach my own nervous system, you're safe and you're seen. You can make a mistake and you're gonna be okay. So by the time I arrived in Bismarck, I truly believe I had my lesson, but I was wrong again. As the weekend unfolded, I started paying attention not only to the speeches, but to Toastmasters itself, the culture, the traditions. And the more I observed, the more conflicted I became. Because on one hand, I was surrounded by very generous people, very supported. But on the other hand, I witnessed some ancient, I call them dusty attitudes. It was like they had been preserved in amber from like 1950. And as a woman who has spent the last few years finding my own voice, not just on stage, but also in my own life, I began asking a question: can this nonprofit organization, founded in 1924, can it be relevant today? See, Toastmasters actually began as a man's-only club. And some of the misogynistic attitudes can still live in members unconsciously. So for a brief moment, I actually started writing my ending with Toastmasters. I figured maybe I've gotten everything I came here for. Maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to spend my time elsewhere. And then I sat at a table. At the final event, I was sitting with people from different divisions, different countries, and we were just talking. We were talking about the conference, honestly, as Toastmasters do. And I discovered something incredibly comforting. I wasn't the only person in the room who had raised an eyebrow that weekend. Turned out several of us have had the experience where we thought, are we still clapping for that kind of behavior? And that validation mattered. Not because everyone agreed, but because I wasn't the only one wondering how an organization can honor its history and continue to evolve. So then the conversation turned to leadership, specifically why I wasn't interested in leadership. Now that's a bold conversation to have when you don't know that you're sitting with divisional and international leadership at the table. So a woman across the table looked at me and said, "May I challenge you with some feedback?" Now, as you become in Toastmasters for any amount of time, you will know that this is actually our secret sauce. This is where the magic happens. So I knew that by saying, yes, of course, I'll accept this feedback, I know that that's the moment growth walks into the room. I said, yes, of course. And she says, that's exactly why we need leaders like you. Ouch. That was the truth that I needed to hear. And then suddenly I saw it. I was questioning whether Toastmasters could evolve and removing myself from helping it. So I got even more curious by the time I got home, and I started reading about the history of Toastmasters. It was founded by the director of YMCA, Ralph Smedley, in 1924, to help men create a healthier society by learning how to talk better and be respectful. It led to an international club in Canada in 1932, and then expanded throughout the world. However, women were excluded until 1973. So my deep dive revealed something else as well. A few years before women were considered, a club submitted an application for one Homer Blanchard. Homer, AKA Helen, was not officially allowed in Toastmasters, but her club quietly admitted her anyway. When women were finally admitted in 1973, membership doubled, and Helen became the first female international president less than 10 years later, in 1982. And that's when the pieces clicked for me. Toastmasters did not survive for more than 100 years with everyone agreeing. It survived because we practiced respectful communication. The skills that allowed me to question Toastmasters, I'm learning in Toastmasters. This is where I learned to receive feedback, where I learned to challenge ideas without attacking people, where I learned to disagree without becoming disagreeable. The more I learned about Ralph and understood why Toastmasters protects some of its historic traditions, hidden below them is a belief that is surprisingly relevant today. Respectful communication is not a luxury. It's a requirement for a healthy society. So I joined Toastmasters to be a better speaker, but it has taught me even more than I could expect. It's teaching me how to be challenged, how to improve under pressure, by a contest, a mistake, my own nervous system. Every one of these challenges give me something. So maybe that's the real gift of Toastmasters. Even as I can't even speak because I'm going to take a drink of water, I'm actually going to pause so I can finish the speech because I don't have to be perfect anymore, and I'm safe. And I still have to teach myself that. So the gift of Toastmasters is not that it teaches us how to speak or to lead, but it's a safe place to practice being challenged, to challenge ourselves, to challenge our assumptions, and to challenge each other because we do it respectfully. So the next time a fellow Toastmaster asks you, may I challenge you? I hope that you'll consider saying yes, because you might get a better speech, you might become a better leader, or you might receive something you didn't even know that you needed. Thank you.